Hello everyone, good to see you all again. I'm trying to sound cheerful because unfortunately I've run into some audio problems this week. Today's episode? I'm doing at least 3 a week at the moment, which is pretty good. It's good to be back. I hope you're enjoying the series being back, and apologies for the audio problems. What will happen is that there'll be bits with sound in the game and then bits without, because basically it's buffering and delaying. So some bits of it sound absolutely great, and some bits of it there's just no sound. Except for my voice. I'm so sorry. So, picking up from where we left in the last episode, you can see we are 7th, sat just outside the playoff games with 16 games gone, so not even halfway through the season yet, but we are making some pretty decent progress. The goal difference is problematic, 13, but we've conceded 23 overall this season, which is less than ideal. I had a number of players actually out on international duty for this game against West Brom, including Alcaraz, which I wondered if that would be a big problem, so I had to bring in Sammy Smodics. Kind of the forgotten man, really, in this series, but it didn't affect us too much, as Tell put us 1-0 up after 20 minutes. I have to say, I think the sheer power of Siine and Mattis is what's going to get us through this season. You can tell, really, that they have a really good understanding. Zimmerman coming in on the left-hand side has also made a big difference, although he missed that chance a minute ago. It was a pretty dull game, really, against West Brom. You can tell we got a 1-0 result. Nice to get a rare clean sheet as well, which is something you'll see in this episode that is actually beginning to improve. I've made a bit of a conscious effort now to try and be a little bit better with defending. I'm all about entertaining normally, but I've been trying to be a little bit better at the back because I think that's really what cost us last season. We can't really outscore opponents on FIFA. It's quite difficult. We were outscoring Hull, though, in the second game of our episode today, 1 after Tell goal, but naturally Hull came back and got themselves an equaliser because I'm not allowed to have more than one clean sheet in a row. We did dominate the game, really, against Hull, actually, I have to say. We were playing some really, really good stuff, and Tell is incredibly unlucky for that not to go, and did really well to read the second bounce there, and a bit surprised he didn't finish it. But in the second half, Zimmerman does really well to rob the defender on the last line, and finishes off nicely to make it 2-1 there. A really, really decent finish from the German, who's now beginning to find his feet at the club and adding goals to his output, which is something I've really enjoyed. And he scored straight again after that, straight for the kickoff. We robbed him again on the ball again. Not a great finish the first time round after he's laid in by Siine, but he managed to head in the rebound, and that was enough to secure another 3-1 victory. And back-to-back victories is what we're looking for at the moment. I really need to try and build some momentum going into this middle part of the season where the fixtures get a little bit clogged, and this is where you can either really lose the chance of automatic promotion within the season or make it. So I'm hoping that we're going to give ourselves the opportunity to be in there at the end of the season. We always end the season pretty strong on this channel, so I'm hoping that we'll put ourselves in a decent position. And we played really well against Borough here. There you can see Nathaniel Chalobah getting really close to getting a goal, and a brilliant save was the only thing that really denied us in the first half. Second half, it got a little bit tighter, but we managed to get a little bit lucky with a good flick on from a corner here, and Alcaraz, with some serious pace, manages to release Tell. And you know what happens here. When Tell Siine gets in the behind the line of defence, only one real outcome 9 times out of 10, and that was to put us 1-0 up. Again, it looks like we're grinding out victories here on the road. And 94 minutes, we go through on goal. Mendoza has a chance to make it 2 and absolutely misses it. But in the end, it did not matter. Another good 1-0 away win against a very decent Middlesbrough team. We followed that up with a visit from Millwall, who we actually played twice in today's episode, strangely. Don't ask me why it happens like that. It's just one of the peculiarities of the fixture list. I have to say, they gave us a really, really good game in the first half. We couldn't really get out of it, but fortunately, Etienne Green actually putting in a decent performance and making 2 really good saves there to keep the score at 0-0. I gave the boys a bit of a dressing down at half-time, as in, like, you know, emotionally and in terms of chat. You know what I'm saying. And that was enough for us to come back out in the second half and really take a bit of control as Alcaraz, 10 minutes in, gets a really, really lovely finish from a nice setup from Siine, and he just bends it into that far corner. Great tuck away, good finish. And after that, we never really looked back. You can tell here, Ken Siine going in, not Ken Siine, God, he plays for, well, he did play for Watford, I think it's Rangers now. Abdullah Siine with a really good finish there. He's been arguably probably the bit of stardust we needed up front to make sure that we get those goals. He's just a little bit more clinical than Chimiti was and gives you that little bit of burst of pace in behind. And Mendoza there, who's been a really, really decent sort of backup signing, came in and got another goal. I think that takes him to 6 for the season, which is very good. We've had a lot of interest in Archie Gray, who actually said to me he wants to play a little bit more and is thinking of leaving. So I did give him a little bit of a run out in the team. Obviously rejected that offer that came in for him. This was a game against Barnsley, who were bottom of the table. And I have to say, guys, if you are a little bit of a sensitive viewer, you probably don't want to watch this. It was 1-0 after 10 minutes. This game became a little bit like bullying. We scored after 10 minutes via Tell. We won the ball back from the kickoff of the second goal, which Siine tucked away on his left peg. And then another 4 minutes later, it was 3 with Tell going in again and a great finish, which made it 3-0 after 18 minutes. I mean, if you're a Barnsley fan, look away now, please. We played really, really well, and Tell should have got a hat-trick there and made it 4 before half-time, but unfortunately couldn't quite finish it off. But that wasn't going to stop us from adding another one to it. Alcaraz going down the left-hand side, rockets one in on his left foot from a really tight angle, and Barnsley just had no real answer. It feels like they're a little bit out of their depth in this league, especially against us. And this was a really nice moment. Sammy Smolix in the second half, who came on for Alcaraz, managed to get his first goal since that horrific injury which kept him out for about 6 months or so, and he finally got on a very, very kind of cakey goal. It took a deflection and kind of just wobbled in. The goalie had a bit of a mare today, to be fair. And then in the second half, Mendoza played for it with Drago, who's also been really good coming off the bench. He cuts it back here. Nice ball into Siine, who tees it back to Sammy Smolix. And, you know, they're like buses. I don't want to be cliche, but they are. And he gets the second of the game, and Siine wraps it up with a lovely finish as well to make it 7-0. Arguably, I think that's our biggest win of the series. And very, very happy. I'm sure you'll all be happy to see that Dobbin there was leaving for 150k. I took a moment of silence. It made me very, very sad. But I picked myself back up again because we then played Coventry at home, and Siine there missing an absolute sitter after 20 minutes. Coventry gave us a really, really good game as well, to be fair. And the first half was quite boring, in all honesty. It looked like they kind of got their way a little bit into making sure that they didn't leave a lot of space in behind, which is what a lot of teams have been doing. So the only real way was to get in down the right-hand side, and Ethan Laird missed the opportunity to get an assist beforehand with a good save from Tell, but he wasn't going to be denied a second time as Mike Abdullah tucked in a really, really, really good finish there to make it 1-0, and then we tucked it away on the 92nd minute with a breakaway goal from Zimmerman as Coventry obviously went looking for an equaliser. That notched up, I believe, 6 straight wins in a row, which is pretty impressive whichever way you look at it. But this is arguably our biggest test of the entire episode, and that was away to Southampton. And I'm not going to lie, they absolutely battered us in the first half. It was only really a great save from Etienne Green there against Paul Glatzel, and then again another one to stop Amo Amiu. That kind of kept us in it. And then on the 27th minute mark, Hayden Carter gives away a penalty. Stupid decision, really. I'm not sure if I would say it's a foul. He just kind of runs into his leg, but there you go. And Etienne Green seems to finally be making up for all that lack of sort of performance in the first season and the first half of this one with a really, really good penalty save. We managed to survive half-time, and then we really got on it in the second half. Bazoon making a decent save after 17 minutes. We were really in the game, but we just couldn't quite cut through. And Southampton, like I said, were obviously going to be the biggest challenge in this episode. And we did better in the second half. Tell they're missing a really good opportunity. Unfortunately, it just looked like it was going to be one of those days where we couldn't quite get through. But then in the 91st minute, a great bit of interplay with Siine setting up Tell, got the goal. And I have to say, I'm a little bit concerned about the camera work there, really. The cameraman absolutely losing the celebrations for that goal, which I found really, really disappointing. He should have done a lot better. But it's been a decent episode there from that respect. A 1-0 win away against a really, really good team seems to be something that we're doing quite a lot at the moment. And that actually took us to, if you can believe it, 6 clean sheets in 7 games, which is, for me, pretty phenomenal, it's safe to say. And we finished off the episode with a game against Millwall where, like I said, we played them before where we hosted them, but this time we actually went to, I believe it's the New Den, and managed to kind of put in a bit of a better performance here. It was a little bit easier going. Tell scoring after only 14 minutes. There's always a threat from Jake Cooper at corners and free kicks. Very decent defender at 6'6", I think he is, or 6'5". Always going to be a bit of a problem in the air. Archie Gray then smashed it into the post after 40 minutes. Was really looking for a goal to that. So I've been giving him a little bit more game time after his complaint about not getting enough. And he was involved in the build-up for the second goal, which Tell tucked away to make it 2. And fortunately, he wasn't to be denied. Archie Gray with an absolute rocket, polished off the game with a lovely third goal there. You can tell he's about 20-25 yards out. Absolutely smashed it past the goalkeeper. And that sealed what has been a really, really decent run of form for us. Unfortunately, it's got to end on a little bit of a low, with Dominic Holmes saying that he's not happy with the lack of game time. With Bella Kotchap coming in, he's kind of been relegated to the bench. It leaves us second in the table, 8 points behind Sheffield United, who are easily the favourites to go up at the moment. But Siine and Tell, as you can say, 18 goals and 17 respectively after 24 matches, are leading the way for us going into the final stretch of the season. Although it's not the final stretch, though, is it, Mike? Is it, you idiot? The middle stretch, which involves January, which is obviously where we will rejoin in the next episode. Will we do any business in the January transfer window? I'm not really sure. I'm very happy with the way the team is playing. Like I said, we seem to have defensively sorted out a few of the issues, which, if we can carry on at this rate, we might even catch up with Sheffield United, but they look uncatchable at the moment. All we can do is keep on winning, and hopefully that will be enough for promotion. I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. Like I said, it's another highlights package. We're trying to make it through the championship season as quickly as we can. I hope that works for all of you. If it does, and you have enjoyed today's episode, then please leave a like down below. Share, subscribe. Until I see you again. Take care of yourselves, everybody, and stay cool. Bye.